Some people say, well, you're 77, you're retirement age, aren't you? What? Retire? Why? What for? I'm in China basically because in the first place, I got invited out to work for a company in Hong Kong till a point came where I was exporting materials out of the Philippines into China and the market just disappeared. So what was I going to do? Well, I had some investments in education in Shijiazhuang. So I thought, well, I'll go to join people in Shijiazhuang. But it turned out that the things I wanted to do in business turned into teaching English. Teaching English is what people really wanted, so that's what I started to do. And I got invited to Qingdao and I taught there for a couple of years. And then it so happened I came to Weifang. Now, people say, well, why Weifang? I did think about it, maybe going to Beijing, but I didn't fancy Beijing because it's so difficult moving about there. There are so many people. The subway is so crowded. Weifang is a growing place. It's going places. It's ambitious. It wants to make itself better, whereas Shanghai and Beijing, they're already established. So in Weifang, there's more opportunity. The students here, they work for all kinds of different companies, selling stuff all over the world, and it's really amazing from a little place like Weifang. So some people say, well, you're 77, you're retirement age, aren't you? What? Retire? Why? What for? People have the idea you retire and then it's very nice, you put your feet up. But actually what you do is you spend your time looking after grandchildren. Yeah, I love my grandchildren and looking after grandchildren is great fun. But I look on it this way. The longest most people actually live in the world is 120. And there are plenty of people, like in Hong Kong, for example, Run Shaw, still busy at the age of 100. There's no need to give up when you're only 77. You may have another 20 or even 30 years more of life and work. And people say, well, what do you want to go on working for? Well, I don't know about you, but I love working. And although I am officially retired now, I'm still very busy. So working to me is enjoyable and is life. So don't give up. And it's true, my own family is in England, and I often get asked this, well, don't you miss your family? How often do you go back to England? But in some ways, I have friends here. It's not family, but it's a little like family to some extent. A lot of people call me grandpa. I don't mind. I find that affectionate and nice. And if I can be teaching people and helping them to develop and to grow, that is the job of a parent or a grandparent. And it's a two-way thing. You help them from your experience and they help you with their experience and their life, and they're finding things out. So this is life and this is my life here. And I'm very happy about it. Then what about China? Why China? I don't know why Chinese people are so keen on running down Chinese people. No! China is the second largest economy in the world. China is going to dominate the 21st century. It already is. China is the place where everything is happening. Now, my son, for example, he works for the BBC. He says to me, I attended a conference with some Chinese people. This is a big thing for somebody working in a good position for the BBC. So they are deferring to China. And you see the British government copying the Chinese government. China is where it's at. And this virus thing has proved it even more. And in Chinese history and culture, family is very, very important, and it still is today. And that is a thing that I do respect and like a lot about the Chinese people. Let me tell you another thing that makes me feel I have a lot in common with Chinese people. Chinese people are very intelligent and very hardworking and very capable. And so am I. The people like us, often other people who are not so intelligent, not so hardworking, not so capable, like to look down on people like us. And I feel this is something I have in common with Chinese people. I've suffered a lot at the hands of second-rate people, mediocre people. I don't like mediocrity. I like excellence. I like things that are great. And so therefore I have some fellow feeling with Chinese people in that regard. And what is happening at the moment worldwide, Chinese people have always suffered from other people's trying to put them down. But this has become more extreme the last few months. It's been so obvious, and especially in America, have feared China's rise and have therefore tried to put China down quite wrongly and quite unfairly. And it makes me want to defend them and say, look, hey, come on, this is all very unfair.